I think this was a really, really hard summer. I asked Corey, I said, I don't care, just give me a tough team. That's all I care about.
Competition is everything in our program, so I mean, you could go out there this week and be a 1 and look up next week and be a 3 if you're not performing at the standard.
We'll have a really competitive camp. I like to have the most competitive camp I've ever had, and we'll see who's standing at the end.
You believe in playing hard, playing tough, and attacking the football. And so you're constantly re-emphasizing that in everything that you do.
It's going to come down to winning 2-minute, and again, just the scenarios that Coach Rule keeps putting us in is going to make us really elite at it by the end of the year.
We're helping each other. We're trying to get the team better before we put ourselves first. So, I mean, that's just part of being a quarterback. You need to put your team before yourself.
This group is special. This group is not only special because the guys that came in, but how we're coming together and how we are developing a culture of execution is what is going to win us games. I mean, like, we are all bought in.
I just want to win games, however it comes. But I know that we're going to be very solid, and we ain't flinching or we ain't scared of nobody.
It's this mindset of, hey, we're going to dominate the things that we can attack, that we can control. And I mean, we have guys who work. I think this team has all the intangibles.
Hi everyone, I'm Michael Severe, and welcome to Big Red Wrap-Up on Nebraska Public Media. Year 2 of the Matt Rhule era begins on Saturday, and we are going to talk about it in this brand new set with a couple of guys you know very well, former Huskers Jay Moore and Damon Benning. Welcome. What do you think? What do you think of the set?
Beautiful.
I like the new digs.
It looks really cool. Everything. Oh, look at this. Look at that fancy.
Look at that.
Is that
truck shot?
Is that called panoramic or?
Yeah. This is a crane camera.
Oh, is that what that is?
Yeah, a little crane camera shot. Looks very good.
That was the first time being here, seeing it. We're breaking it in nicely.
It looks great. It looks great.
Fantastic.
We need it too because this is a new year.
Uh-huh.
This is a new era even though it's the second year of Matt Rhule, it's a new era because there's a lot of excitement. Have you been able to go anywhere and not have someone ask you what you think the record's going to be or how excited you are?
No, I haven't. And it's different. I feel like every year, I'm always kind of the internal optimist anyways. Mm-hmm. But this year just feels different because there's so many factors. I mean, whether you can look at Matt Rhule's success going from year 1 to year 2 at Temple, Baylor, the talent they've brought in and the talent they've kept, and the guys who've come back. This is an old team. I'm very excited about that. But I've been to a couple practices in fall camp, and the talent, the body types that this team has right now is they got Sunday guys. They got Sunday body types. But I think most importantly, what makes me very excited about the potential, obviously the schedule sets up very nicely for them. But the other thing I think these guys have finally bought into the process. Mm-hmm. I think that's very, very important to get to where you need to go. I was always reminded if you fall in love with the process will love you back. So I think they're kind of getting that, and hopefully they're going to kind of reap the rewards here in just a few days when they kick off against UTEP.
You are 3D Damon. Not only you are a former Husker, you're the color voice on radio, and now your son plays for the team. You are as committed as possible, Damon Benning.
Yeah, I'm all in. My chips are all Nebraska, and listen, I'm excited. I think one of the easy things to gravitate towards Coach Rhule and why people do is you listen to him talk football, you listen to him talk about practice or how he attacks the day, and it's almost like he's telling you how to be a better father, how to be a better employee, how to be a better son. He's all about maximizing and mastering in life. He just applies it to the game of football. Mm-hmm. He's the consummate teacher, and definitely somebody that I obviously trust to have my kiddo with. So I'm pumped, ready to go.
And with all that, there's also a 5-star quarterback that many thought was the best in the 2024 class, Dylan Raiola as the quarterback. I know it's not a surprise for a lot of people, but it seems like he earned it.
No, he did. I think, listen, I fully expected when he stepped foot on campus last spring that he was going to work himself into the number 1 guy. Obviously, the quarterback situation was not very successful last year with Sims and Harbor getting banged up, and then with Purdy. So you knew it was going to look vastly different, but you just didn't know how it was going to shake out. Doing one thing in high school, coming in, big fish, small pond kind of situation. All of a sudden, it's different when you step foot on college. I don't care if your dad was an All-American here, and your uncle's an O-line coach, and you might have some relationships with some other NFL quarterbacks. It's just different. But he's handled it really, really well. I'm very impressed. Like I said, I've been to a couple practices this year. He doesn't act like he's 18. He does not act like he's 18. He has a maturity of a guy who's been here for a couple years. He carries himself very well. He carries himself as a leader. And the ability's there, the ability to throw the football to different arm angles, whatever it is, the feel in the pocket. Again, it's just practice so far, but he's earned it and he's legit. Like, I'm very excited to see him play on Saturday.
With the confidence of another 15?
Yeah, he does.
Does
A little bravado.
Yeah.
And he gives you the sense that he's always got it under control, right? Some call it poise. He's just got that kind of Pied Piper to him where, wherever he is, you think it's going to be okay. And there's something to that. And I'm pretty impressed across the board. I think they got the quarterback room right. I like the mentality in there. It's incredibly competitive, yet they can cheer for other people, right? When you get the temperament in that room right, you really give yourself a chance to have some success.
You said something interesting. We were doing a thing on Friday. And so if there was an injury during a game, I'm assuming Haarberg comes in. But if it was long term, could you see it being Kalen?
I could. No, he's starting to really grow into his football IQ. Physically, he's getting there. He spins it really well. He's really good in the RPO game. He's used to it in high school.
Yeah.
And I think he gives them an arm that you're not nervous when he goes into the game and he has to execute this offense, and allows you to do some different things with Haarberg too.
Different things with Haarberg. You've got to get him there, right? I mean, all the big plays. I think he had at least 7 plays over 30 yards last year. You got to get that guy on the field.
Yeah, absolutely. Whether it's from the tight end aspect, like you saw early in the Minnesota game last year, or his ability in a run-pass situation or short yardage goal line situations where you bring him in, it's like, hey, we're running QB power right here, and it's gonna be hard to stop because he's a big body. So you can do so many multiple things. And obviously, you can implement the adoption game like they did a little bit too, just to keep defenses, just throw a little wrinkle, just so they have to take another 10 minutes, 15 minutes to prepare for week in and week out. So you got to utilize all his talents because his athletic ability is off the charts.
Kind of like what Minnesota does, right? Minnesota, the whole time they've had this staff, they've always had that quarterback that can come in and run down the goal line.
Yeah, it's just and I think Jay's right. 15 minutes doesn't sound like a huge number, but daily when you're doing install and preparation, and then they may show you a goal line package, and that's another 15 minutes. It adds up, and once you get stuff like that on tape, quarterback run game changes the way that you can defend. So the minute that's on tape, you better get in a dry erase board and figure it out.
No doubt. We got a lot to get to tonight. We want to hear from you, of course. Our phones are standing by, ready for your calls. You can also text or email your comments or questions to bigred@nebraskapublicmedia.org. We're also monitoring our social media accounts. Send us your thoughts on our Big Red Wrap-Up Facebook page or X account, and we'll answer as many of the questions as we can tonight. Also, don't forget to head to our website and download your copy of the 2024 Nebraska football schedule poster. You can print it off for your home, your work, your office, wherever you are, and keep up to date throughout the season with all the Husker football scores, hopefully with a whole bunch of W's on that poster. Our sideline survey is back and ready for your vote tonight as well. Will Nebraska make it to a bowl game this season? Easy question. Will they make it? Yes, the drought is over. No, the nightmare continues. Ask me after game. That's the real pessimist person. That's like, just ask me. I don't know yet. Make sure you head back each week. Go to the website for each brand new survey. It truly is one of those situations where the bowl game is the minimum. But Damon has said a couple times, 8 really feels like the floor because, come on, the schedule.
Yeah, no, the schedule lines up perfectly.
Yeah.
And it hasn't. It hasn't in a few years. Whether you're starting the road to Ireland, on the road at Minnesota on a Thursday night, on the road at Illinois. You just can't ease your way into it. So many years in the past, you're able. Obviously, there's no preseason game in college football, but I mean, back when I was playing, you were playing a Pacific, right? You guys open up, or we at Louisiana Tech, or Nickel State, or somewhere you can just kind of get your feet wet, get the cobwebs out, get some young players some reps. And they haven't had that. And the ability to gain confidence and get momentum, whether it's been a game getting canceled in Frost's first year, the years haven't got started off right. And this finally feels like a time where they can finally grasp momentum, gain confidence, and learn how to win finally, because they haven't learned how to win in the last few years.
And opponent talent aside, I like the style, right? UTEP, spread, space, pace, 3x1s, 2x2s formations. Colorado, much of the same. One back offense, 3x1s, 2x2s. Northern Iowa, they're going to spread you out as well because the strength of their team is their wide receiving core on offense. So I like the fact that the schedule lines up from stylistically more than anything, because it allows your preparation to kind of settle in. Hey, we've seen this before. Let's build on it, especially in year 2 defensively, where you're going to start to add your wrinkles, your little nuances, because you know your opponents have game tape too. It's how you next level. So I like the fact that they're going to see some similar style offense.
They won't see anyone go as fast as UTEP. They want to, like 12, 14, 16 seconds. They want to have it snapped. So let's talk about the offense, besides the quarterback, the wide receivers, with the transfers, the way it's set up, the way freshmen played last year with Lloyd. It seems like it's going to be a pretty good position.
Yeah, I tell you what, with Banks and Nair coming onto the scene, those guys are. I'm telling you, I was Keith Williams, a former teammate of mine. He works down there. I'm just like, Keith, who is that? And he's like, that's Nair, man. I'm like,
He's a Sunday guy.
He looks. I mean, he's built like Julio Jones. Like they're just big-bodied receivers, big catch, wide radiuses. Malachi Coleman is the exact same way. IGC, you can see he's coming back, and then Lloyd is not the bigger guy, but a guy that can obviously take the top off of defense, and you got to respect the speed. So the stable is very deep, and obviously it got depleted early last year, and those young guys had to come in and make something happen. But getting Naor and Banks in there is huge, and then you throw in the tight end as well. I mean, there's all sorts of weapons to throw to.
I want to see Bonner take some snaps because he's played every other position, and now he's in the slot.
Yeah, there's so many guys that we forget about, and Bonner's one of them. I mean, Steady Eddie. And, you know, the depth charts come out, and, you know, they list like 3 guys deep at a position or something like that. That's not really what it's about. You want to be in that top 6 or 7 in terms of pass catchers,
right? Because
they have versatility, whether it's Fedoni and Bonner and Nair and Banks, and I mean, listen, they got fellas. So just because you're 3 deep here doesn't mean you're 3rd in the game at that position. Like they'll play the top 7, 8, 9 pass catchers. That's where you won't find yourself.
You throw Carter Nelson in
and Carter Nelson as a wide receiver in that list as well. So let's go to running back because, you know, Damon, you were in a stable at Nebraska. All those years you were there, you could go 4 deep, guys coming off the bench and running for a bunch of yards. How difficult is it as a running back to be in a or?
Yeah, so it all depends on how practice goes. If the carrot is dangled and it's set, you know what you're dealing with. If it's competitive daily and you're rewarded for your work output, it's kind of easier to stay dialed in. When there's lack of communication or you don't feel like Monday through Friday has a ton of merit all the time in terms of how Saturday plays out, it can get away from you. So the 2 things are communication and understanding that every rep counts, because it seems like they're waiting for a guy to separate, and now they get game experience to actually compete. Usually it happens in practice. It seems like they're willing to let this play out through games. Hey, that's going to keep you awful engaged, but it takes a different mentality to be ready on the spot. Some guys are rhythm guys, some guys are feel guys. It's very difficult to be ready on command.
As a defender, to have that many different types of backs, they are really different. Is that a little bit harder? Because you got to see who's back there. The shifty guys, the big guy.
Yeah, I think if anything, it's just personnel recognition, depending on who's in there. What back likes to do certain things, and in certain instances of a game, I'm guessing Ramir, he's kind of a 3-down back. Yep. He can first down, second down, third down back. He can step up and pick up and blitz.
Yeah,
but obviously Ramir's really good out of the backfield. Emmett showed some ability to catch the ball in the backfield last year when he was throwing the mix. Don't know much about Dowdell yet. And then Gabe is your kind of your first and second down guy, and maybe your short yardage back too, if he can stay healthy. Yeah. But ideally, for a defensive-minded guy, those backs just kind of give you an idea what they're trying to do offensively from a play call standpoint. But if they're going to mix it up, who knows? You know, they're probably going to try to keep this defense on their toes a little bit.
A few seconds about the offensive line, because they have a lot of bodies.
They do. They have some versatility. So I'll be interested to see what scheme they settle in. I think they can comfortably play 7 right now, and that gives you a little bit of margin for error. You obviously have to protect your quarterback, but with the RPO game, and the stable of running backs, you can play to this offensive line strengths.
Jay, you got probably 7 guys at least that can be in that front 5. Who do you like? I mean, you know, obviously Ty and Nash are back, and Jamari Butler, but who do you like in that group?
I think you got to put. I mean, Cameron Hart is really
The 12th
good.
black
Yes, yeah. Riley Van Poppel played really well last year. Judy's is right up there. You know, there's some young guys that have kind of put their hat in the mix too. But I think it's just those 3 guys that you see right there on the screen are big time. I mean, Nash and Ty. I mean, they could have left after last year if they really wanted to. They could be probably playing, you know, getting ready for an NFL game.
Yeah.
But they decided to come back.
And Jamari Butler did leave and decided not to go and stay.
Yep.
Yeah.
And I tell you
His
what.
personality may be my favorite.
Yeah, he's the way he's added some weight. His body style changed from last year to this year. I mean, he's gonna be a tough to deal with. Those 3 guys up front are gonna cause some chaos this year, and I couldn't imagine trying to be many of those younger linebackers behind them trying to just clean up all their messes that they cause. Man, it's gonna be fun.
Yeah. What about the secondary?
I like it. They got some versatility, and they cross-train quite a bit. So I'm obviously pretty excited to see what happens there. And you get some guys that, if they stay healthy, have a chance to have some really big years. Malcolm gets to settle in at that field safety spot.
Yep.
Deshaun Singleton's a Sunday
He's
guy.
a beast.
Listen, he's electric.
Yeah.
And if he stays healthy, he has the ability to impact games from that 3rd level. But the guy that I'm kind of interested in seeing, is he prepared to handle the emotional load of being the guy?
Tommy Hill?
Is Tommy Hill.
Yeah.
Right? Can a lot of people have said good things about you.
Yeah.
Can you hang in there and pay attention to detail week in, week out, and lead that group back on the back end?
Yeah, stay focused. But the season opener just days away. The team took the podium. Let's hear what the players and coaches have to say in this week's Big Red Report.
Yeah, Dylan's going to play. He's going to play the plays, right? He's going to, when we call drop back, he's going to go back there, take his drop, go through his progression. Just how we want him to play when he's a junior. We're going to start day 1 that way. We're not easing into anything.
He's attacked everything since he's started learning the offense. He attacks it. He works really hard. He works into the night. He meets with Glenn extra on certain facets of the game. He's a young pro. He's always going to get better, and there's still maturing that he's going to have to do. But he attacks it like a pro.
Yeah, it was emotional, honestly. I mean, the first thing I did was call my mom, call my dad. Very, very thankful for them. I wouldn't be here without them. Buckle up. It's going to be a fun ride.
It'll be a challenge, but I feel good about where we are. I mean, I wouldn't put oars on the running backs if I didn't feel like we had guys who could make plays.
Yeah, if you get a guy that gets hot, we definitely, would love to just let that guy go. All 4 of those guys are talented.
They're all doing really good things, and so, yeah, that's the one position we're probably not quite, we're still quite unsettled on that in kicker. We won 4 games in overtime or on the last possession. That's the secret sauce of where we have to get to with this team, right? But so that's why I'm not easing into it. We have to go like this every single game and get better, and that's why we're going to start off playing the way we want to play at the end of the year, at the beginning of the year. And if it doesn't look perfect early on, we're not going to flinch. We're not going to flinch. We're going to do what we do and just try to get better every year, every game, so that when we end the season, we'll have played our best game, the last game.
It's the big 1-8 now, 4 new teams. Who jumps out the most to you?
I like Oregon, obviously, but I'm telling you, because they seldom get the benefit of the doubt because they're always on the lips of many, keep an eye on USC.
Well, Dante Lynn is defensive coordinator.
I really like Branch. He's as electric as anybody in the country.
Yep.
Quietly, UCLA has really ran the ball down folks' throats the last 3 years. Foster will run the football. And Washington, given when they got the new coaching hour, probably got the best available candidate. Good pedigree there, but I think you start with Oregon, you look at SC, then probably UCLA and Washington.
Really is pretty close to what the SEC puts out there when you add these 4 teams.
Oh, no, without a doubt. And I think Coach Rule hit the nail on the head about saying this is the Big Ten's like the NFL, right?
Yep.
You got East Coast, West Coast, South teams.
Managing travel,
managing
rest.
travel. I mean, if you're traveling 3 time zones now.
UCLA is traveling 23,000 miles.
I mean, you're probably now, instead of leaving the day before the game, you're probably leaving 2 days before the game to adjust the time travel. That's what NFL teams do when they're doing that kind of thing. And I don't know if they have any if they're staying out west, potentially for back-to-back games, or staying out east for back-to-back games, they might even have to stay out there for the week. Who knows? It's just going to be it's crazy, but I'm excited to see it. It's going to be fun, and I think Oregon's going to be an excellent addition as well.
No doubt about that. Next up on the show, we have an exclusive interview with the head ball coach, Matt Rhule. But first, some sights and sounds from Husker Fall practice, courtesy of Hale Varsity. Stay with us. We're right back.
The programs we produce in the Ron Hall studio have touched the lives of Nebraskans since 1972. Now it's time to imagine the possibilities. We're not just renovating, we're innovating. Together, let's invest in Nebraska Public Media's future and update the studio so we can create more programs to educate, inspire, and connect. Support the Ron Hall studio renovation and a legacy that will benefit generations of Nebraskans. Imagine the possibilities.
From late-game comebacks and heroics to notable milestones and records. Relive iconic games and unforgettable stories from Nebraska Public Media's High School Championship Archive. We've teamed up with the NSAA to curate the most memorable games and interviewed coaches, players, sports writers who all share their memories. Help us celebrate our tradition of championship television on Nebraska High School Classics. Thursday, September 12th at 9 p.m. Central on Nebraska Public Media.
Let's make the most of this summer.
There's about to be a whole lot of love in this kitchen.
Smells good in here.
Come on, baby. Come on, baby.
Disco started with parties. Good times, good feeling. It brings people joy. I don't need a detective, but they will do.
This is what we've got, and we can make it ours. It's so good.
Hello, Create viewers. Matt Paxton here, host of Legacy List with Matt Paxton. What family heirlooms are important to you?
This is the helmet Becky wanted.
Do you like it just because there's a cat on it?
There's something special about this one.
Create is running a back-to-back marathon of Legacy List episodes that will have you thinking, remembering fondly, and maybe even make you shed a tear or two.
Wow, you made my dream come true.
This month on Create.
All right, that's a good downsizing story.
All right, welcome back to Big Bit Wrap Up on Nebraska Public Media. We are joined by the head football coach of the University of Nebraska in his second year, Matt Rhule. Thanks for doing this, Coach. We appreciate it.
Oh, thanks for having me.
I want to tell you a quick story. We're out at dinner, my wife's birthday, and one of the waiters walks up and says, "I'm so excited, Michael. I can't wait for the season. I've taken off all the Saturdays and the Friday night." And I said, "That's a lot of money you're losing." He goes, "I just got to see my Huskers." Do you ever get surprised about the passion of this fan base?
Yes, all the time. And in a good way, in a great way. Just, I think you get humbled when you hear how much this means to so many people. And but it's a great reminder, man. You might be out having dinner,
yeah,
but you say, "Hey, I better get back to work tomorrow because we have to produce a winner for all these people who care so much."
Yeah, I'm sure you didn't do it on purpose, but I talked to a lot of former players, and that speech you gave that went viral, talking about this is why we lose, incredibly popular with former players. Love to hear you say that stuff. Can you tell us what was going on in your mind when you were given that speech, and then how'd the practice go the rest of the way?
Oh, the practice was great after that. And, but I think that's what coaching is. I think coaching is just being a mirror. When things are great, telling them to keep going. When things are not good, putting it in the forefront so guys have a chance to correct it. And to me, it's not like we have to continue to lose. We don't have to lose. And so what are the things causing us to lose? And sometimes there might be things that are physical, but so often for us, it's been getting to big moments and trying to do things that we're not trained to do. Trying to do things outside of really who we are, and that's trust. And the great Husker teams, they trusted themselves, they trusted their teammates, they trusted the process, and they're going to wear you down and find a way to win. And that day we were doing things that aren't us, and so I brought them back, and they've been really good ever since.
Is it easier to do because you have such a amount of veterans along with the young group as well? Is it easier to do because you have those guys who I'm sure are willing to talk for you?
Yeah, well, I think as the older players, they're used to those moments. They also, have all the fun moments with me. Mm-hmm. And so when I do all of a sudden snap into that moment, they listen, they hear it, they correct it, and they move on. Because there's nothing personal about it, and it's never directed at anybody. It's just there's a standard that we want to uphold that was started way before us and will continue way after us. And when we're not adhering to that standard, whether it's me, staff members, or our players, we're going to correct it. And the great thing is, when you have that mindset, you believe that everything's within your control. There's no curse.
Yeah.
There's nothing like, hey, what's wrong? Hey, we have to do things just a little bit better. And I love the fact that our guys embrace that.
Yeah, one of the things we talk about a lot over these years has been convincing them that they can win. With all the close losses over these years, how do you do that? How do you take guys who have lost a bunch of games and then say to you, hey, you're a winner, you're going to win these games?
Well, I think it's making sure that when things don't go right like that day, or when things do go right, always bringing it back to why. Like, why did these things happen? We didn't just fumble the ball. We fumbled the ball because we weren't holding it properly. And when you feel not powerless, when you recognize that you have the power to control your destiny, you have the power to determine if we win the turnover battle, the power to determine if we hit all of our assignments. I don't know, man. I think you feel control. And you can never control everything in football, but you certainly can control the things that you can. And whether that's your effort, whether that's your preparation, your technique. And so just getting our guys to completely buy into that, buying into the fact that, hey, we can help ourselves win. That's the key. And once we start winning, as I tell them all the time, we're not going to win on 8/31. We've won all off season. We've won all camp. Now on game day, it's just a celebration of all the work that we've done.
One of the big changes for you, obviously, is Troy Daniel coming in as athletic director. How's that been? And has he gotten all 17 of those things done that you wanted early on?
And first of all, about those 17 things, Trevin, I was working with Trev, and he was always like, hey, let me know, kind of. So we kind of had a working list of, hey, things that, from my experience, from our experience, other places, that we could maybe update or we could redo, or just things we were working on. And so when Troy came in, when he asked me, I said, well, we've been working on a list. So I don't want everyone to think that I just walked in like, get these done.
Yeah.
But Troy's a tremendous leader, and I'm excited to follow him. And he's a tremendous friend. I mean, it's always great when you have someone in that position that is going to be there with you in the good times and the bad, and that you're going to ride the highs and lows with together. And he's got great experience. And he has great vision. He's not afraid to do hard things and take chances. And that's what we need. For us to get Nebraska athletics and Nebraska football to where we want it to be, we have to be on the forefront, just like Coach Osborne was, like Coach Devaney was. They were doing things that no one else was doing at the time. And Troy's not afraid to do that.
You were the same way, and last year you did the helmet communication, knowing it's probably coming. Lane Kiffin called it a true game changer in the sport. Do you feel the same way?
No doubt, 100%. I think it's going to help you coach quarterbacks. I think it's going to help you develop them as you give them more options within the play calls. It's what they're going to be doing on Sundays, so why not do it on Saturdays? And we love it. We were prepared for it, and I think it'll really help Dylan and the rest of our quarterbacks.
You've done the single digits at other schools as well. Have you ever had such an imbalance in terms of only 1 on offense with 9 on defense?
Yeah, a lot of times.
Really?
It's usually more of a defensive thing. And,
yeah.
To be fair, Ramir Johnson, could have probably had one. He was right there in the mix, but we just have a special group on defense. And you look at on offense, Jamal's come in and done a great job, but we have a lot of younger players on offense, guys with eligibility left. So I'm sure you'll look up in a couple of years and we'll have 4 or 5 of those guys, the Ja'Cory Barneys and those young kids coming up. They'll be single-digit type guys. The great news for me is that there's about 20 guys we could have put in that position. I'd feel good about it. And, it's scary that, of those 10 guys, 9 of them, this is their last season of football. Only Malcolm comes back. So we'll have to do a great job of developing the rest of our team and that mentality as we go throughout this season to prepare for next season as well.
In many ways, the offensive line improved last year from what it was before. Now, havoc allowed was tough for you stat-wise because of the fumbles and the sacks and that kind of thing. How much was that on the offensive line when you look back? How much is that on the problems you had at quarterback?
I think on offense, anytime things aren't what you want, it's just kind of a mixture of everything. It really is. I thought our offensive line played well enough to win most of last year. When you're struggling to throw the ball, you really put a lot of pressure now on the offensive line because you're really only throwing it when you absolutely have to, and they're coming. And then when you go to run the football, people are bringing pressure. And so with Heinrich's development, with Dylan and Danny coming in, with the weapons we've added on the outside, you can call a run play, and if they come pressure, you can throw a hitch out there, and that guy might take it 60. It's really a modern day option football. It's just run pass option, and so we can do all those things now. And I think that allows our offensive line to be aggressive, I like what they've done with their bodies this year. I think it's going to be a really good group.
How do you feel about the tackle spot with Teddy going down? Obviously, do you feel you have good depth there?
Yeah, I mean, anytime you lose a starting left tackle, it's devastating. And we're blessed to have another starting left tackle on the roster just coming back from injury. But that was a blow. With that being said, we have some younger players we really trust. We have Gunnar Gatula, Grant Segrin, Jacob Hood's really starting to come on now as a transfer, and then you have guys like Lutovsky and Micah Mazuka who can go out into those if you ever needed to. But we trust Turner. We trust the guys behind him, and we'll just have to do a really good job of getting them comfortable and letting them play.
You've known Micah for years. When he came into the program, maybe he wasn't completely dialed in. How has he gone, and what are you seeing from him heading into the season?
Well, we want the same thing from Micah that we get from everybody else, and that's just growth. And so even, every day when it might not be exactly what you want, if it's better than it was, then you're making progress. And I'm proud of Micah. He's done a really good job. It's a change. He played 4 years at other places where people had different expectations, and our expectation level here is, we treat the field the same as we treat the locker room, as the same way as we treat the classroom. And I'm not saying anything negative about those places, but there's high expectations here. And he's meeting them now, and he's doing a good job. And he loves football. He loves playing physical football. And so, we'll ride the highs and lows of the season together, but at the end of the day, he's a good person, I believe in.
It's one of the few times you can say somebody's nasty, and it's a true compliment.
There's no doubt he is.
He certainly is. Let me get into the secondary coach, John Butler, coming on. When you have a staff that's been together, new guy comes in, how has he kind of gotten with everybody else?
Well, John, because John's a veteran, he approached, I think, things the right way. He has so much experience, yet he came in and he just learned. He just learned the what, hey, what do you guys do? He learned the how. And then he really tried to apply it to how do I teach this? And then what you see, because he came in so humbly, as you get into week 2, week 3, he and Tony working together. Tony's so great at this, like adding in tweaks and things that maybe he did in Buffalo or Houston or at Penn State, and really elevating what we do, schematically. And he's getting the best out of his players, which is, to me, what all great coaches do. And, we had a great secondary coach before. Yeah. We added a great secondary coach. And most importantly, we've got a lot of good players back there that'll benefit from John's knowledge.
How much has practice changed? How much has the development of young guys changed because analysts or extra coaches can work on the field with them?
It's night and day. I mean, you can go over on the scout team now, and you can have someone that coaches your position out there. Because what you want guys to go over there and be deliberate and be intentional. And even though I'm being the UTEP corner, I'm going to utilize great technique. I'm not going to just come out here and mail it in. And so we have really good players over there, and they're playing and they're developing because they're being held accountable by guys that are watching the tape with them and coaching them. So I think it's a game-changing decision in college football that'll allow us to coach guys better.
Jalen Lloyd obviously had a breakout year as a true freshman. Let's talk about what Ja'Cory Barney can be, both as a wide receiver and hopefully as a punt returner. That's me personally saying that.
Yeah, I think Ja'Cory, the sky's the limit for him. I mean, he's dynamic, he's explosive, he's courageous. Mm-hmm. He's just got to go do it in college. But I don't think there's going to be any moment that's too big for him. I think he's going to go out there and play, and he'll have an impact hopefully on special teams. He'll certainly have an impact on offense. And I think it's always great when you can bring a young player in who loves to practice. Not everyone has that. Like they might be a really good talent young player, but they don't quite understand what practice means at this level. But Ja'Cory, I mean, I have to slow him down and walk through. I mean, he just loves the game, and it shows with the way he plays.
What's your philosophy, and I guess EJ's philosophy as well, in terms of, are you going with the hot hand? Do you like having that workhorse back? Do you want to have somebody to come fill in? How if it was going to go perfect for you, how would you like your running back distributed?
Yeah, I think you'd love to have that, all-purpose workhorse back that, kind of totes the rock. You'd love to have a second person that complements them really well, and then probably a third down back or a scat back or someone who can have some jobs. We're blessed, I think, to have a bunch of guys that, are fighting for that role. And so maybe early in the season we play, more guys than maybe we're, normally used to. Maybe we don't. We still have some time here to make some decisions. But every time we sort of try to classify them, those guys battle back, and they all want to play, and they all bring something different to the table. Ramir's a great outside zone runner. He's like a great sub third down back. Emmett Johnson, the same thing, can run between the tackles outside, but can also protect and catch the ball. Gabe's a downhill back, slashing with great speed. Dante is just a powerful man that no one wants to tackle. Quentin Ives has long speed, and Maurice Mazuka is really a compact back that can find holes and make yards. So we learned last year you need depth. So, I'm not going to complain about it, but who is that guy right now? We still don't know.
People talk a lot about California guys, Texas guys. Give me a Philly guy. You know a Philly guy's going to fight.
Oh, there's no doubt. Give me a Philly guy any day.
No doubt about that. How much impact do you think you'll have when it comes to that $22 million we're talking about now? How much going to football and how much you ask for? How much impact do you think the head coach will have in that?
None. Yeah, none. I think a lot of that will be decided, really between the school, between the president, but probably between the attorneys on campus, between Troy and his vision. It's so much further ahead than us. For me, I'm just kind of waiting to see how it all falls out. And to me, all that I ever care about when it comes to things like this is, hey, what are our competitors in the Big Ten getting? Are we getting the same? I don't want $1 more, but I certainly don't want $1 less.
Sure.
So, keep the playing field as equal as possible. Give us an opportunity to go recruit and retain talent and let us try to coach it. So, but yeah, I think Troy does that's one of the great things. I don't have to worry about those things. I know he's on the cutting edge of that, and he's always in the know.
Was there one or two things that won Dylan the job, or was it just his overall performance?
I thought Dylan just had a great camp. I think the biggest thing, that kind of finally solidified it for him was as he continued to work on his feet and his drops and in the pocket. Things come so naturally to him, but you have to regiment yourself and you have to throw on time. And when you have a guy who's as talented as he is, who also is willing to work on these things that might even seem like innocuous to him, like why are we worried about this? But he works at it. You have a chance to have a special player.
There was concern in basketball about the way Steph Curry shot, that people would be imitating him. Now you have a Patrick Mahomes that's throwing off balance and off level. Is that a concern at all when you see guys come in who are trying to be Patrick Mahomes?
Oh, definitely. Let me say this: if I can have Pat Mahomes,
that's right.
Okay. What you're really trying to get guys to do is you want to have all those things in their tool bag, so when they need them, they can pull them out. But you certainly don't want to do that all the time. So. Dylan's found a great balance, and now he's got to go play. I mean, there might be some games it's too far. This is a journey, and I look forward to walking that journey with him. But it's just a guy that's really blessed and has a lot of talent, but also learning how to discipline that talent, which he does really well.
We all know how tough this conference is and is going to be. When you look ahead to scheduling, do you think that old model of having one Power 4 or 5 team and a couple of G5s is going to be the standard, or would you rather just have 3 G5s because you're going to have a tough schedule in the
I think when they added in USC, UCLA, Oregon, and Washington, and we're playing 9 conference games, and the ACC and the SEC are playing 8.
Yeah.
You better not play a non-conference schedule. That makes things really hard for you to be successful. And so, what you're really looking for to me is, hey, if everyone in the Big Ten is doing it, then we'll do it. But if they're not doing it, then why would we do it? And so, I know that sometimes that's hard to hear out there, but that's the truth. And I owe it to everyone to tell them the truth. Like, we want to go down the gauntlet of the Big Ten, and there's going to be years where, you have to go to Penn State one week and maybe to Michigan the next week. It's going to get a lot harder here scheduling in the Big Ten. What used to be a great season is going to be a different number nowadays. I think the old 11-1, 10-2 is now going to be 8-4, 9-3, and that's, I think, everyone in the Big Ten, as you go to those meetings, they recognize that and talk to it. So I think non-conference scheduling is something that every team in the Big Ten is looking at and trying to figure out, how do we do this right?
We're going to learn a lot, right? When they pick these 12 teams or 11 outside the G5 team, we're going to know how much they value that non-conference.
There's no doubt. And then in a couple of years, if they do go to 14 teams, I think that'll change things as well. So there's been a lot of things talked about, and I think there's a lot of models that could happen. So again, I give my opinion, but I also stand back and, knowing that's what's so great about having Troy is that he's in all those meetings. He knows what's coming down the pike, and he'll make great decisions.
Some rapid fire ones. Biggest advantage now being on the west side, do you think it's going to be for you guys?
Well, I think early in the year it'll be the sun, the sun in other people's faces, and us being maybe a little bit cooler, and I think also people not being able to see a signal to our guys.
If you were in charge and you could set the number of how many on a roster in 2024 going forward, what would the best number, optimal number, do you think would be?
I probably would have 105, but then also have like a
taxi squad,
and a JV team that could go play. I mean, how great would it be if we had Nebraska JV playing, Iowa State JV playing? I think that'd be so good for young players' development. Keep the walk-on program and give guys a chance to earn their way up.
So go back when we had the freshman team before, right?
Absolutely.
Go back to that.
I think it'd be great.
That makes a lot of sense. Is there one item among the whole group of the family that's agreed on for dinner? Is there one specific one? Like spaghetti and meatballs, everybody loves that in my house. Is there one thing specifically for you guys?
Yeah, my whole family's gluten-free, so it's like,
oh, really?
Oh, yeah, the whole family. Julie, Bryant, Vivi, Leona's all gluten-free, so Julie makes this dish, chicken divan. Her mom made it. She makes it, and it's absolutely fantastic. It's like creamy chicken. I mean,
Nice.
So I'd say that.
Yeah,
Oh,
that's-
Indian food as well. If I want to
Really?
make everyone happy, the oven downtown, I'll bring Indian food home, and no one complains.
There's so much good Indian food in Nebraska, which surprises people, I'm sure. If you're going to pick one to play, EA College Football 2025 or Bill Walsh 94?
Bill Walsh 94.
I know, wasn't it
man.
a great game?
Oh, give me Auburn 83 and let me have Bo Jackson run for touchdowns. I mean,
Yeah.
100%.
Mine was 79 USC. That secondary, I
That's
also
right.
had Charles White. I had Marcus as
I
a
love that.
freshman.
I love
It was
it.
such a good team. Best advice Coach Paterno gave you that you've used as a coach?
That to hold the best players the most accountable. That was his gift. He wasn't a sheep killer. He wasn't a lamb killer. He didn't come in and treat the walk-ons terrible and let the best players do. I mean, he held the best players the most accountable. When you have that type of an organization, everybody says, hey, no one's untouchable. We all have a standard. I learned that from Joe, and not many coaches are willing to do that.
This is a tough question here, but if you guys would have kept your foot down in '94 in the Indiana game and some other games, you think you win a national championship? I make the argument every day.
Yeah, I think that really hurt us, right? Like,
Yeah.
but that's such a credit to who Joe is, right?
Yep.
That he was going to play those two. He's going to put the Matt rules in the game. But if that Indiana game again, especially, that was like 36 to something, and then they came back.
2 Hail Marys, basically.
Yeah. So I think there's a lot of merit to that.
You often have a really fresh cut. Who's your barber? Where'd you find your barber? And how important is it to get that fresh cut going into a game?
Yeah, I got 2 barbers here in Lincoln. I got my man KB. So he's all razor cuts and he takes care of me. But as I get a little older and go bald on top, I have another guy named Mitchell that cuts my hair scissor cut. So I might get shaped up by KB and a longer cut by Mitchell.
Second and last one. I've been watching Caleb Benning play since he was 4 or 5 years old. At this point, as a freshman here on campus, better than his dad was?
Yeah, so I mean, I've done a lot of research on that. I've talked to a lot of people. I've talked to Ron Brown. I think within the building, there's really no doubt that Caleb's probably the better athlete. Just too versatile, not a one-trick pony. So I mean, Damon obviously was probably great, but I think Caleb's just significantly better.
Last thing, you look ahead to this season. What is a successful season? I know you're asked this a lot, but what would you say when it's all over and you look back, what's successful in 2024?
Well, I think we have to go to a bowl game. I think we have to play well at home in front of the fans. I think we have to turn around the turnover battle and win that. I think we have to get in some close games and win them to get that kind of off the conversation. And you just love to come into like November relevant. Last year, even in the divisions, people might not remember, but like coming down the stretch, like, hey, we win this game, we're going to play Iowa for the West. And so while it didn't work out great, we were at least kind of relevant-ish.
Mm-hmm.
I want to be relevant. I want to come down the stretch where we're fighting to go to the Big Ten championship game, where we're fighting to get into the college football playoff. That to me is what a great season is where you're not just coming early in the season, right? You're coming in October and you're coming in November because those games, they matter for something greater. And that's what we're working for.
Coach, we appreciate it.
Yeah, thank you.
Thank you very much for doing this. We'll be back with more Big Red Wrap Up next.
Understanding the past gives a sense of the future. This is the first time that anyone has seen this in 2,000 years.
This is amazing.
Well, I'm excited now.
Pompeii is a battle against time.
You think I'm joking, but look at this. It did really happen.
Don't let anybody tell you who you are.
History teaches us to honor the past.
When you look back, you're like, wow, that was pretty special.
This is something that's actually altering the course of history.
You're charged with keeping these stories alive.
Welcome back to Big Red Wrap Up. We are joined to talk some recruiting by Sean Callahan. Just when you thought Nebraska was all filled up, they had somebody else.
Yeah, the recruiting calendar and clock never stops. And today, Nebraska adds a surprise addition. Mac Markway, a tight end at LSU, originally from St. Louis Desmet High School. Desmet actually plays Creighton Prep in a game this weekend coming up. But Markway played at LSU as a true freshman, was a reserve tight end, but played in every game this past season. His high school path was interesting because he was hurt as both a junior and a senior, so limited valuation, but he exceeded expectations as a freshman. Didn't like, I think, where things were at. Went in didn't go in the portal because the portal's not open, but left LSU and enrolled in classes at Nebraska this week. It's unknown, though, about eligibility and if there's a way he could play this year. If not, obviously, he's got a redshirt year, and we'll hear more from Matt Rule on this.
And his dad said because Nebraska is now a tight end-driven offense, they wanted him here.
No doubt, and we've seen that with these positionless football players, as Matt Rule likes to say.
Yeah. Let's talk about the 2025 class. Who jumps out at you when you look at the list?
Well, you go down the list, and several guys, but Pedshok from North Dakota is definitely one of the names right now. When you look at him, he's just a dominant player on film. Obviously, Mose out of Kansas City, getting him out of Lee Summit North, somebody that Nebraska had been recruiting, since the Frost staff. He'd been known as a prospect for a while. So you go down the line, they've done a really good job. Jamarian Parker out of St. Louis. I think we've seen Nebraska really make a resurgence both in Kansas City and St. Louis. And with Mose now on the staff, along with now Keith Williams heading up the St. Louis efforts, I think Nebraska has positioned themselves as well as they've been in a number of years in those two markets.
Let's go to TJ Lateef just overall because obviously the quarterback. You got to bring a quarterback recruit in every year. I think we're learning.
Yeah, TJ Lateef, it was hard. I mean, it's an extremely tough sell in recruiting when you have a guy like Dylan Raiola, who has the job probably for at least 3 years. And so at that point, they had some other names on the radar they were recruiting once Raiola committed. TJ Lateef became their top prospect, and they got him on campus early. He plays for one of the top high school programs on the West Coast, so he sees great competition. He's a developmental guy with a strong arm.
Look at his form, though. His form is as good as any high school sophomore. I watched his sophomore tape. He's got incredible form.
And this is the kind of guy you want, somebody that you can develop and teach that has the tools that can be a better player. And he's seeing elite competition each and every week.
Let's talk about in-state. Christian Jones, Omaha West Side, a guy I've seen play in person a lot of times. He can do pretty much everything.
Yeah, the top available player right now in the state of Nebraska, Christian Jones, plans to make an announcement sometime here in the month of September as he kind of lets a few more things play out. But Oklahoma, Nebraska, possibly Miami. You never know who else could get involved in the picture. He did take an official visit to Auburn earlier as well. But 6'2", 215, has played a lot on the perimeter and the edge, but probably projects more as a true inside linebacker. And for Nebraska, he's a priority. There's no doubt that is a position of need in this recruiting class. You look at John Bullock moving on, Javen Wright moving on at this point. They need a quality guy, and Christian Jones has to be probably one of the top 20, 25 names left for Nebraska they're trying to wrap up on.
Certainly hope you get him. Thanks, Sean. We appreciate it.
Thanks.
Be sure to vote in this week's Sideline Survey. Will Nebraska make a bowl game this season? Currently, 84% say yes. There you go. 11% want to wait after game one, but 5% say no. Nightmare continues. Our game day photo contest is back this year. We want to see how you spend your game days. Send our best game day pick for chances to win great prizes throughout the season and to see your photo on that week's show. Lots of photo opportunities with the season kicking off on Saturday in Lincoln. We're looking forward to seeing you in your game day best.
I'm Larry Putney. This is Nebraska High School Classics.
That gets by Rick. Run will score.
Get ready to relive iconic games, nail-biting finishes, and unforgettable stories from Nebraska Public Media's NSAA Championship Archive. From late game comebacks and heroics to notable milestones and records, each game is presented in a condensed format highlighting the game played across the contest. Nebraska Public Media teamed with the Nebraska School Activities Association, sports writers and directors to curate an extensive list representing the rich tapestry of Nebraska high school sports. From that list, this work group used a series of metrics to score each matchup that would help set the stage for what is presented in this new series, with an emphasis on diversity and representation from across the state. The games aren't all that's featured in this new series. We've done contemporary interviews that give additional analysis and perspectives to the title games featured across our first season. So wait, you had never in your career had even an opportunity at a game winner?
No.
That was the first time?
That was the first time. Couldn't come at a better time, bro.
You're not kidding.
Alvaro! Got it! Wow! What a finish!
Join us in our love letter to Nebraska high school sports history on YouTube each Sunday this fall. These are Nebraska High School Classics.
Each Sunday starting September 1st on YouTube. That's going to be a fun thing to watch. I know people are going to enjoy that a lot. Let's get to UTEP. Reminds me a little bit of Louisiana Tech last year because you really had one guy to stop, and that was Smoke Harris. This time it's this Cam Thomas who plays the minor back. They will spread you out, and they will go fast.
Yeah, the pace is something I think Nebraska's going to have to negotiate, and you got to get guys to the ground, right?
Mm-hmm.
That's always the thing that you take a look at in the opener, especially when you're an experienced defense. Get lined up and get guys to the ground. That's where a veteran defense like this can really help, because I don't think UTEP can line up in formations that Nebraska won't be familiar with.
Yeah, let's not beat around. They're 147th ranked in Sagarin. They're not a good team. A lot of guys coming back, but it's the first game. You can make mistakes.
Yeah, without a doubt. No matter how much you played last year, obviously the defense is old. A lot of guys played a lot of snaps.
Yeah.
Not old in a bad way by any means, but between Gifford and Nash and Ty and Bullock and Tommy Hill, I go through the list. I mean, the guys have played a ton of good, of really quality football. But it is. You haven't played a game in some time, and spring ball's one thing, spring game's one thing, camp's one thing. Until you start playing a team in a different color uniform, just your thinking goes a little quicker. You get a little tired. Your conditioning's not quite where you think it needs to be in the first game. You just got to learn and adjust, and I think they'll do that. And I think the defense is like DB said. You got to get those guys on the ground. The tackling's they want to get you in space. They want to get you hurrying up. You got to get your calls in quick. You got to get your communications out and get guys on the ground as quick as possible, and then rinse and repeat.
The thing I remember that Minnesota game last year, they played so many guys on defense. You expect the same thing for Nebraska?
I think Nebraska has the depth to play a lot of guys, but man, that starting 11 and really the 12th guy with Cam Lenhart, it's about as established of a starting group on the defense as we've seen at Nebraska in terms of the veterans and what they return. And you just wonder, what will UTEP bring at them? 11 transfers followed Scotty Walden from Austin Peay. Yep. 4 of them at wide receiver, 1 of them at running back, and 1 at quarterback. So there'll be a lot of familiarity with the players that came over with Walden on the offensive side of the football.
Yeah, Skylar Locklear is the quarterback from Austin Peay who had a great high school career. He had 108 touchdowns.
And they're still going to be good. He did not leave the cupboard bare at Austin Peay. Keep an eye on them.
I want to go to a Facebook question from Matt. Who's the breakout player this year for Nebraska?
For me, defensively, it's easy. John Bullock.
Oh,
I think
the man has no neck.
Well, he's overlooked.
Yeah.
He's a tremendous athlete. He's year 2. He's got one of the greatest teachers on staff in Rob Dvorak. If Bullock stays healthy, he will have an incredible year.
Damian says, and we'll have the prediction later, but you feel it's going to be a blowout? Could it be closer? What do you feel?
I think it's going to be a little uncomfortable early. Mm-hmm. I think offensively, just a young quarterback, you got to feel it's just the timing. It's the first game. You got to feel some things out. I think defense gets, they got to adjust to the tempo of the offense and just the adjustments within the game. I think it gets a little uncomfortable early, but I think the second half, Nebraska's a better football team. I think they'll flex their muscle and it'll be much more comfortable, but the line will be very close, I'll say that.
Sean, Nebraska's never had a thing on the sideline like a lot of other teams. Daniel Lincoln wants to know, do you think the Nebraskan players will use the black shirt shield after they get a turnover?
I don't know about that. We'll see. I saw, was that a fan prop?
It was a fan prop. Yeah, they made it, yeah.
I mean, it wouldn't be surprising. I mean, they're going to be on that new west sideline. There's going to be enough going on down there with the iPads and all the other technology. But they need to do something to up the turnovers. There's 14 forced turnovers as a defense last year. That has to be an area of emphasis for Nebraska.
How big is flipping the field, especially at a 2:30 game when that sun's going to be on the east side?
It'd be nice if they did it with a punt return, if not a turnover, because I want to see the punt return game get going. But I think it's huge.
Yeah.
Right. It's been off talked about and never done coming over to this part of the sideline. So We'll see what happens.
Do you think the security, ball security on the other side of turnovers, not turning the ball over, you think that's going to be cured?
We'll see. It needs to get fixed. I mean, obviously 31 turnovers by this offense last year led the nation, and that has to get fixed. And that starts from the top with the young quarterback, running backs, wide receivers. Offensive line is there. Everyone is got to be on point. It has to get cleaned up. You just look at last year. If they 10 less turnovers last year, how different that season would have been.
Yeah.
But it has to get fixed one way or another. Just a couple practices I've been at. I mean, the emphasis is off the charts on it on both sides as well. I mean, defensively.
Yeah, get on the balls that are on the ground and catch balls that hit your hands.
Right. Yeah. So they're on it. I mean, they are on it. It is the horse is dead on it, but it needs to be emphasized because it has been an issue for such a long time within this program.
Who's the most valuable assistant?
Oh, that's tough.
Put in a tough position. Be in a tough position.
That is tough. I think Coach Butler is close to brilliant. I'm a huge Dvorak fan. I'm going to go with Glenn Thomas under the gun.
Nice.
If I had some time to think about it, but I think Thomas has been huge. He's freed Sad up to be kind of who he is and be that creative mind. I'll go with Coach Thomas right now.
So what are burning questions? Go ahead, Sean.
My burning question is, can Nebraska run the football situationally? Can they get 4 or 5 yards on first down? Can they convert the 3rd and 1s, the 4th and 1s, and obviously be efficient in the red zone as a running offense?
Can Nebraska do simple well? Block, tackle, take care of the football. And in the first game, do simple well.
I'm interested to see what Rule said. The reins are off of Raiola. Yeah. I want to see what does that look like. Are they going to expand the field, or is it, ease them into things? I'm just to see how they handle the young quarterback early on.
Can Nebraska be clean? We had 4 games this past weekend, very few turnovers, very few penalties. Can Nebraska avoid turnovers and penalties and be clean on Saturday? Don't forget to head to our website or Facebook page and click on the prediction. Jay, Damon, and I will tell you exactly what to expect on Saturday as Nebraska kicks off the 2024 season at home for the first time in 5 years against the UTEP Miners. You can catch the game on Big Fox. Kickoff scheduled at 2:30 Central. Next Tuesday, we'll be back in breakdown mode, recapping the game with our special guest, Matt Davison from the 1890 Initiative. On Friday night, college football returns to Nebraska Public Media as the number 2 ranked Nebraska volleyball team takes on Texas A&M Corpus Christi from the Bob Devaney Sports Center. You can see the Huskers' first home game at 7 p.m. Central right here on Nebraska Public Media. Our thanks to Sean Callahan for joining us. Of course, Coach Matt Rule as well for taking his time to chat. For Jay Moore and Damon Benning, I'm Michael Severe. We'll see you next week on Big Red Wrap-Up.